All right, we're going to get started. Chime in if you have a question. If it gets unruly, we'll postpone questions till the end, but this is a friendly group. If you guys have any questions while we're going along, the point here is just to give you some tips and pointers to get you through the labyrinth that is Toastmasters Pathways. Hopefully you all have your logins, because you're gonna, after this is over, want to log in and exercise some of the stuff that you've learned. Normally, if you start from your blank screen, you just type in toastmasters.org to go to the Toastmasters website. The Toastmasters website is not the fastest in the world. It does take some time to path, but of all the stuff here that you're looking at, there's not a lot you need to be proficient in Pathways. The one thing you do have to do is log in. There's a login up here at the top of the screen. You just type in your member ID or email, your password, and click login. And then afterwards, you're gonna watch me now, and then you're gonna wanna do all this once the webinar is over. Right here is the menu for Pathways. If you left click on it, it pulls down a larger menu. Once you have chosen your path, you'll have to choose a path first, and hopefully you all have done that. You want to go to base camp. Base camp is the place where you want to spend most of your time. Just think about climbing a mountain. You're going to spend all your time here at base camp. I just clicked base camp and it's thinking right now. So here's one of the mildly frustrating things about this is I asked to go to base camp and I'm still not at base camp. It's
Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, Don, I'm very sorry to interrupt you. This is Kareth. I just wanted to know, I'm not really, I'm seeing this screen, but it says be grateful, but I'm not seeing any of the maneuvers you're describing. Am I supposed to be seeing something else? Like?
Yeah, so is everyone else seeing the Toastmasters website? Is Kareth the only one?
I am. I see the Pathways Learning Experience page.
Yes.
Yeah, I see it. Jonathan sees it.
You may have to close your Zoom and relaunch it again.
Maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, close your Zoom and relaunch again. It looks like you're stuck on the very first screen.
Yeah, I am. Okay, I'll be back.
Hey, Kareth.
Hey, Jonathan, I'll be back.
All right.
So close this screen out. Now, all right, I'll be back.
Okay, Kareth is gone. He'll be back. All right. But as I was saying, it's kind of frustrating that I wanted to go to base camp and I'm still not there. I have to go here and click it here. Now I'm a member of 2 clubs, so it's giving me an option to pick which club I wish to join through base camp. Since Eloquent Speakers was the first club I joined, I chose to do all my base camp work through Eloquent.
Oh, great. Now I see it. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So you click on Go to Base Camp again. All right, then you get here and you're not even still sure what you're supposed to do. What you want to do is go to your education transcript. You can do it through this big box here, or you can just scroll down this screen using the sidebar or your roller bar in your mouse. And I'm in dynamic leadership. These other items that you see here are just things that I was playing around with. You can go outside of your curriculum, but my curriculum, like a college curriculum, I chose dynamic leadership. You chose whatever path you want to choose.
How did you choose that?
I'm going back. right here, there was an option to choose your path. Continue to path selection. You select here, your first one is free, so ignore that it's charging you $20. You're just going to take this assessment test. It's going to ask you several questions to try and figure out which path would be best for you. And then it's going to give you 3 that it thinks are going to be best for you. And then you select it. All right, I'm going to go, all I'm going to do is all day long, every day that I want to work with my Toastmasters program, I'm just going to go to my transcript and open my curriculum, Dynamic Leadership. Now you can see here there are 5 levels. Each level is made up of projects. Each project has a speech. So if you think about a project is really a speech. Many of you who haven't started Pathways yet still have to go back to level 1 and do an icebreaker. When you get here, it'll ask you to activate, but because I've already activated it, the launch option is for me. I can go back to a program, even one that I have finished, and still see everything that I have done. Once you're in the program, once you're in the project, there's a lot of nice functionality that Toastmasters has built in, but some of it is not as intuitive as it could be. This is the last step in a project, is to assess your skills. So that's where I left off when I finished my icebreaker speech. So that's where I'm at. There's a menu down here, a pull down menu, and you have 2 ways. This is the entire course of this project. It starts up with navigation and finishes down with assess your skills. It's the only project that covers how to get around pathways, as well as how to give your icebreaker speech. You have 2 ways to get around. You can click the left and right arrow to advance through the project or go back, or you can select from the menu here and jump around within your project. I'm going to select this right arrow to keep advancing through the project and explain each step as you get through, because there's some stuff that you might miss if you weren't paying attention. All right, there's an introduction. You read it. This one's really cool. It gives you lots of cool information. But now you get to here, and all of a sudden it grays a box for you. It shows something down at the bottom, and you're not necessarily certain what you're supposed to do. Well, you could print your project and resources. If I select that, it's going to open up this window here and give me an option to actually print this project. I don't like to do that from here. I like to use one of their PDF sources. So you want to close the directions so that you can continue with the project. Here's your project checklist. You will get options throughout your assignment of these various PDFs, and every time you click on one, it's going to open it up in a new tab. This one's pretty elementary. You probably don't need to print it out, but some of the other projects get more complicated, and it's a nice resource, keeps you on track to do the project successfully. All right, I'm going to click the right arrow to move to the next page. Before you begin a project, you have to do a beginning assess your skills. Let me take that back. You can do a beginning assessment skills. There's actually only one thing you have to do to complete a project, and that's assess your skills after. This is the assess your skills before. As soon as you do this assess your skills after, it tells Pathways that you've completed the project. It doesn't care whether you actually did complete the project or not, but it asks you to do that. Now we're on one of these screens where you have a next button now. If I click the right arrow, it's going to bypass this entire assessment test. So I have to use the next button to keep going through the assessment test. And you just select what you wanted for your strengths and then keep clicking next. Now the next button is gray. It tells me I'm at the end of this section. I can now click the right arrow to move on. This page will tell you the competencies. Here's a little bit more about the navigation, what you can find in a video, and then it goes on to start playing the video. I have found the videos to be very useful. I think they're well produced. They're not too corny, and they add some beneficial information to the project, but it's up to you. Now you're gonna, again, we have a different type of screen here. It's showing you to view your worksheet outline, or you can download the entire speech outline workshop. I like to download it. When I download it, I save it to my computer. There's options up here in the upper right to print, but this is the download button. If you click this download button, you're gonna get an option to save the file to somewhere on your computer. I have a Toastmasters folder, and I have a Pathways folder, and then I have a folder for every level. So since this is level 1, I would have saved this in my level 1 directory. You'll notice all the tabs are still open. I can go back to my project where I left off and continue working forward. It's telling you here how to organize your speech, how to prepare and present. And now, again, we have this option here where there's 5 sub elements within this one page. If I click the right arrow now, I'm not going to get to see these 5 sub elements. So you click next, next, next if you want to use it. There's some helpful information here for beginning speakers. Again, this is a second type of screen with additional information, and I believe they have 3 kinds altogether. Here, they want you to see each piece one at a time, and you just keep clicking to see each one. I'm not 100% sure why they used all these different methodologies. Maybe they felt that it would keep it interesting, that if the presentation wasn't always the same. All right, now they're telling you to prepare and present. Again, we've got the next button. It's kind of like a little mini PowerPoint presentation. The next is gray. I can now go to the next section. After your speech, now this is assuming now that I've already given the speech, and it's telling me, what do you do? Evaluate yourself, review and apply. Again, now here's the third way that they show information. Keep clicking the more button until it reveals all of the options. So there's 3 ways that they could present more information on a single screen. That could be a little bit confusing. These were all presented to us, these resources were all presented to us throughout the presentation. They're now giving them to us again, with the exception of the evaluation resource. This is one of the most valuable things I have found within Pathways, is opening the evaluation resource, printing this out, filling it out, and bringing it to the meeting so your evaluator knows your purpose and what they should be looking for in your speech. And then because I've already done the assessment, it's showing me the before and after of the assessment. But it would have asked me these questions again. And I'm going to go through that because I just finished a project last night at the Redwood Toastmasters Club. I'm going to show you today how to complete that process. Are there any questions up till now? All right, I'm on level 3. And I just finished negotiate the best outcome. I'm going to launch it. And it should take me back to where I left off, which means it should be on the assess yourself, which is the only thing I have to do to tell Pathways that I've finished a project. No one needs to approve the finishing of a project. So it wants to assess my skills. I'm just going to, I did awesome. I'm amazing. All right, you guys aren't laughing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the end of the assessment, you get a new button called Submit. And this is the thing that tells Pathways I have finished the project, and it will let me go on to the next stage. So now it shows me the before and after, which this tells you I didn't do the before assessment test. Congratulations, I am done. So now I'm going to go back to my curriculum here, and I'm going to refresh the screen. And you can now see it no longer says launch, it now says evaluate. So now I can go to the elective projects. This is the next one here to complete level 3. So I'm going to view the details. Wow, I have lots of options now. This is a little bit different than your level 1 and level 2s. You didn't get electives, they were just telling you what you want to do. It says up here, I have to complete at least 2 of these. There's a total of 14. This is another nice thing about Pathways. If you want to learn more, you can. You can do all of these electives if you want to. For the same 20 bucks you paid for the Pathway, you can do more and more of these things. I'm not in a hurry to finish my path. I will probably select quite a few of these to complete before I move on to the next section. But I would like to know a little bit more about using presentation software. So I'm going to activate right here. I'm going to activate this project. Now I'm going to launch it.
Mike, are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can I go to your computer?
What?
And that's it. And it's just like the other one I showed you. I'm going to go through and it's going to take me through all of these things that I need. And I can jump around using the menu, or I can just use the arrows here. It's that simple. So really the only things that are very important for you to remember is when you are, when you first get into Toastmasters, here, go to your, when you first get into Basecamp, just go into your transcript and open your curriculum. That's all you need to do. Forget all this other stuff here.
Dan, repeat again. Repeat, please.
You just need to go to, when you get to Basecamp, here,
Okay.
go back. I'm going to go back to Toastmasters.org, which is the main Toastmasters website. I'm going to click on Pathways. I'm going to go to Basecamp.
Okay.
You notice I'm not doing anything else on this entire website. There's so much stuff here and I don't need any of it. And then I'm going to go to Basecamp again because, well, it makes me go to Basecamp twice. And then I want to open my curriculum. I want to study my main course material. Open the curriculum. So that's the first thing that you need to know as the most important thing. The second thing that you need to know that's the most important thing is when you're within a project, there's only one thing you need to do to finish it after you have given the speech, and that is this: assess your skills after. That tells Pathways you are done. All this other stuff, if you've given icebreaker speeches and you don't want to learn all that stuff again, you can just deliver the speech and then assess your skills, and it will tell Pathways that you have done it. If you don't want to do the icebreaker speech, again, you could tell Pathways you've done it and move on. I mean, you've paid for the program. This is all self-learning. So it's really up to you. Then the third thing that is important, which I haven't covered yet, is when you get to the end of the level. And this is something that's very important because it'll stymie you. When you complete a level, you fill out that you have completed the level, but Toastmasters now waits for the VP of Education to approve you to go to the next level. This is the only time there's a second hand that has to touch your curriculum in order for you to move on. And in our case, the VP of Education is Myrna for our club, and the treasurer, or I'm sorry, the secretary and the president can also approve it. So if Myrna is out of pocket, you can ask the president. We don't have a secretary, so we really only have one other person in Eloquent Speakers that will be able to do that. So that's only the three things that I would say are the most important for you to know tonight is go to Basecamp and open your curriculum. That's it. Don't look at anything else. When you're within a project, make sure that you are to finish. You just simply take that after assessment, and that will tell Pathways you can go on to the next project. And then when you finish a level, mark that as complete, contact your VP of Education and say, hey, I've completed it. Would you please approve it?
Well, how does the VP do that?
They're what are called Basecamp managers, and they have special access to a utility called the Basecamp management tool.
I did for you. I went to that and I approved done.
Yes, Myrna did my level 2 completion for me. David did my level 1 completion for me because we didn't have a VP of Education when I completed this, who had access to the Basecamp management system.
So how do they know that you need that to be done? You have to call them, or you have to send them an email?
No, they sent me an email.
I sent Myrna an email, but she's supposed to get notification from
I get for Toastmaster.
And then if she's checking into her Basecamp manager often enough, she'll also be able to see who needs to get approved. Any questions?
See, none of this is intuitive. Did you figure this out by trial and error, or did you go to a
I took your advice, Jonathan, and I called Toastmasters and had them walk me through it over the phone. And they basically told me everything I just told you. They said, you only need to know these few things to go.
All right, but this is something so you couldn't just figure it out yourself.
I did not. No,
because I couldn't figure it out myself. That's why
that's why this is called Pathways for Idiots, because Pathways makes you feel like an idiot.
For me, it was nice.
Well, if no one else has any questions, I'll terminate the meeting. I have recorded this. I'll clean up the recording, maybe get it to Jonathan so he can get it up on our YouTube channel.
I just have one simple question. This is Michael Sanders speaking.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, how are you? How long does it take to go through each project? Just, roughly a week, a day, or a couple of days? Do you have a sense about that?
Well, I did my last project, my negotiating project, in a weekend, but it's however long it takes you to really prepare for a speech.
Okay. So, for example, I had done 15 other speeches in the other program. You could, if some of those were applicable, you could really use those speeches, the write-ups, and just re-give them again. Is that correct, or am I incorrect about that?
No, you absolutely could recycle material and improve on it, make it better.
Okay.
It's your program, it's your time, it's your money. You do whatever it is that you want with the program, whatever you feel is going to be best for you to get the most out of the program.
Sounds great. Thank you for your help. Appreciate it. Have a good
now, when you were at the higher levels, it had there were PowerPoint lectures, or are they videos? What were those there?
These were electives, and you can see here, this one is using presentation software, connect with storytelling. I mean, they're all over the place, but they're selected for my curriculum.
But what are they though? Are they PowerPoint lectures? Are they videos? What are they? What's in there?
Yeah, PowerPoint is one.
This one that I selected is presentation software. PowerPoint is one type of presentation software. So I'm going to learn the ins and outs of how to use presentation software within this program, within this project.
All right, but is this a PowerPoint lecture itself, or is it a, if you keep pushing the arrow, you're going to come to a video somewhere?
It's possible, Jonathan. They have all sorts of different, they take a total multimedia approach to education here. Here now is a fourth way for which they show information, arrows. I haven't seen those yet to show more information. But this little presentation here is kind of like a PowerPoint presentation if you think about it. They set it up within this software, sort of like an interactive PowerPoint presentation.
Is there anywhere where they have links to other articles or references to books or anything like that?
There might be as the stuff gets more sophisticated, but they do have, usually within here, there will be an entire document that you can, there was a video there for this one, by the way. It was about ready to start. Here, I can print my entire project, and it's this little book. It's an 18-page booklet on this entire project. So if you didn't want to go through all of those PowerPoint slides, you could read this PDF file. And if there's resources that they used, they don't have a list of resources that they used anywhere for this. So also, Rebecca was reminding me there's an interesting feature. If you need to find anything in Toastmasters, one of the best ways is, instead of going to their website, is to actually do a Google search. So if I wanted to get an evaluation form, for example, for my icebreaker speech, search Google for it and find a resource that comes out of the Toastmasters.org website, and there's the evaluation form. You don't even have to go through Pathways to find some of these things. Sometimes a Google search is the best way to get there. Are there any more questions?
No, thank you so much, Dan.
All right, absolutely. Thank you all. Have a good evening. I'll get this video out. Jonathan, can I get it to you to upload to that?
Yeah, sure.
Or you want me to upload it to mine and I'll just give everyone a link?
Either way.
Okay, I'll figure it out. It might be easier for me to just do it because it's going to be probably a big file. All right, everyone, have a great evening.
Hey, thanks, Don.
Hey, Don, that was so kind and generous of you. Thank you so, so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for attending.